Hello friends, this video is dedicated to the presiding officers who will do election duty for Lok Sabha election 2024 for the very first time, like me. This was my first election duty, that even as a presiding officer. So presiding officers is the in charge of the polling station. So he will have a team of 4 members including him. There will be 3 polling officers and 1 presiding officers. So here we'll discuss what are the duties, basic duties of roles, responsibilities, and the challenges, problems one may face as a presiding officers. So I was posted in Karnataka, Bangalore, where I discharged my duty as a presiding officers. So here the election was on 26th of April. So they asked us to attend 2 trainings before the polled. So they told you attend 2 trainings. In those trainings they will make you familiarize with the EVMs, paperwork, do's and don'ts, so, like this. And then before one day of the election they will ask to join along with the team, your team, to the mustering center. So mustering center is like a center, distribution center. Somewhere it is called distribution center, somewhere it is called mustering center. So they told come along with the with your team at so for example 9 o'clock for at this mustering center. So all of 4 of us we arrived there. So there we will be briefed by our sector officer. So sector officer will be in charge of the 15 polling station, 13 to 15 polling station. So we as a team will directly report to the sector officer. So he will only hand over us the items, EVMs and papers, and at the end of the poll we will hand over back to him all these EVMs and papers. So he will be our go-to guy. Means if anything, any problem is there, any clarifications is there, means we will ask him and we will consult him. So like this is a Lok Sabha elections. So generally here it will be as a parliamentary constituency. So many 4-5 assembly constituency makes one parliamentary constituency. So the number of polling station will be more in the parliamentary constituency. So what happened, we went there at the mustering center at 9 o'clock. So whoever had to vote through postal ballot, so they straight away went for voting postal ballots. Then our sector officer briefed about the voting procedures, about the machine, and what will be the timeline of things, and all the critical information he has given. Then he has handed over each team its EVM and other items, basically stationary items, forms, like this. Then he told to check. But where we were there, that classroom was very small, so we weren't able to check all the items. So critical items we checked, okay, like control unit numbers, EVM numbers, and forms, voter lists, so all those stamps we checked. So then we taken the lunch, and then after the lunch sector officers told that your bus will be ready, bus number is this one, you board that bus. So our, like for example our polling station number was 235. So that was in a school where 3 polling stations was there, 234, 235 and 236. So we were there, 3 teams were there. So we boarded the bus along with the police party. So then we went to the polling station. So polling station was also like sometimes it will be very close to the mustering center, sometimes it will be very far. So in our case it was like 6 kilometers. So bus was going, then it used to go inside the small roads and like this. So finally we reached up there. So upon reaching there in the school, we inspected the area first, that what is in the surrounding areas, any posters, any canvassing is happening or not, any posters they have sticked or not. So it was not there. So then what we did, after reaching there, we marked the 100 meter, roughly we marked the 100 meters and put the red flags. So that indicating that this comes under the polling booth, no canvassing, no party worker as a group should come into these areas. Then we went into the our designated polling stations. So it will be like a classroom type. So we went there. So then we started checking all the items. So what will be the items will be received by the sector officer, like EVM. So EVM consists of control unit, ballot unit, VVPAT. So there we checked the address tags and pink seals, whether the ballot unit has the correct candidate lists, and the IDs of all the items, whether battery is there or not on the VVPAT, and the connector pins. So there we found that one connector pin of VVPAT is broken. So we told the sector officer. So he came and he told her that it is not a big issue, it will work. So then we also got satisfied. Then we checked the documentation. So what in documentation, the voter list will be there, tender ballots will be there, stamps, seals, and then 17A register, statutory, non-statutory forms, and envelopes. So we checked that also. And other documents also will be there, like posters and all will be there. So we after that we went out and started sticking all the posters. So posters means candidate list, do's and don'ts, other ID cards through which one can vote, like this. So no mobile phone allowed. So generally our school was very small, so we weren't able to make like female and male lines separately, so we merged it. Then other stationery items they will give, like pen, pencil, rubber, scale, sellotape, and then sealing wax, ink, which will put on the finger. So all those things we checked. Then we started filling the forms. So I gave my team the voter slip, that they started preparing voter slip. So we decided that number of how much the number of voters are there, 70% will make the voter slips. So they started making the voter slip. Meanwhile I was preparing all the forms and envelopes and all these things. So one thumb rule is there: on every form, on every envelope, on every item paper, you have to put one designated polling stamp, means rubber stamp. So then in that rubber stamp there will be a unique polling station number, assembly number, parliamentary number. So it will be like that. So you have to put on every paper, every envelope, and wherever the presiding officer is signing, there you have to, at the side of it, you have to stamp. So I started doing that one, and those people, those polling officers started making the voter slip. So and also we didn't have any micro observer, because our school was not on the sensitive area list, so we didn't have the micro observer. Then so then what we did, that we started making the I started filling all the datas, not the datas, information, like what is the parliamentary number, assembly number, what is the control unit number, and all those in paper seals number, tags number. So I already started filling and kept. So only thing I left is the signature of the presiding officer and the data. Other than that, I have filled every other informations, and then I handed over the marked copy of electoral roll, basically voter list, to one of the polling officer, and I asked him to, you study the voter list, you find out what are the informations are there, and who are the voters which has been debarred or cannot be allowed. You study all those things. Then by doing that, it become like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So then we started finishing our dinner. So for dinner also, sometimes election commission will give, or sometimes they will give money and they will tell you purchase it. So one person helper they will give, you can give money to them and they will bring the food items. So then we had our dinner, and then after that we went for sleep. So in our school there were 3 polling stations. So in that three team, total 4 female officers were there. So they decided they will sleep in the one room, and we men decided we'll sleep on the other 2 rooms. Then we slept. Then early morning we waked up, and then sector officer came 5 o'clock. He told that 5:30 you start the mock poll. So mock poll, that time is the very very critical time, because you have to conduct the mock poll, you have to certify it, then you have to close the machine, you have to seal the machine, then agent also will come, then you have to issue the pass to the agent, you have to check the you have to verify that agent is belongs to this party or not. So that time 5:30, and why? Because 7 o'clock you have to start the poll. So this 5:30 to 7 o'clock will be the very hectic time for the presiding officer, that you have to conduct the mock poll, and you have to successfully conduct the mock poll, and then you have to close the machine, seal the machine, and you have to verify the agent. So these things will take a very good toll on the presiding officer. So we exactly 5:30 we started a mock poll, and then we checked the data of the mock poll. Mock poll data was matching, so we closed the machine and we did CRC, and we sealed the machine and we switched off the machine. By the time we switched off machine, that time the agents came. So then we shown the machines and we asked them to sign on the seal, and then 7 o'clock voting will start. So by the time it was around 6:40, 6:45, so I started making paperwork, like mock poll reports, and this agent form 10s, like this. I was checking their ID cards, all those things. And then mock poll is over, so mock poll reports I was making. So in mock poll you have to like very very careful. When you set up the machine, you should check VVPAT knob is on the activated mode, and then you have to seal all the tags which you will put. Then you have to fill the mock poll certificates, then what tag you are putting, green paper seal and a special tag, so those numbers you have to mention. So all those things before one day only you keep ready, and you start the mock poll early. So then once the mock poll is completed, before starting the actual poll at 7 o'clock, you give instruction to the polling agents. So generally here major party was BJP in Congress, so only 2 polling agents came. So you give very good instruction that mobile phones are not allowed, no sending of chits, we have to maintain the secrecy of vote, and you have to identify the voter which will come for voting, and no canvassing. So like this you have to inform the polling agents. So then polling will begin at the 7 o'clock. So at 6:55 you switch on the machine and you show the polling agent that this machine has been done CRC, there is no vote in the machine, and then you have to show the this one electoral roll, voter list, to see that no marking has been done, and then you have to show the 17A register that it is blank and empty. Then you have to mention the time, what time poll you are starting. So then poll 7 o'clock you start. If you delay, suppose something happens, mock poll, some issue happened, so your polling will delay, polling start time will delay, so then you have to give justification that why it has delayed. So basically you try that to complete it as early as possible, so that you will get some time. In that time you can do some paperwork, like this. So 7 o'clock you start the polling. So once polling start means the polling officer's job starts. So there they will do all this checking, verifications and all. By the time you do little paperwork, so here paperwork means PRO diary is the main item. So PRO diary you start filling, like this, what time poll started, how many agents were available or not, then mock poll report you make, starting declaration you make. So all those things you start preparing by the time polling will happen. So the police will be there outside, so you instruct them that no mobile phone is allowed inside the booth, and every voter who is coming should have a BLO slip. So in that BLO slip they will mention the serial number, part number of the voter, and he should have one government ID card. So then only you allow it to enter the booth. So then the proceeding is like polling officer 1 will check the BLO slip, he will announce his name, he will check it on his voter list, and then he will make a count of male female, whether it's a male female, how much number it is there. The second polling officer will put ink on the voter, and then he will enter on the 17A register what is his serial number, part number, and what ID he has brought, our ID number, then signature, then he will issue one voter slip. Then he will go to the third person, he will take the voter slip, he will check his hand, his left index finger is having ink, and then he will take the voter slip and issue the ballot. Then he will go to the voting compartment and he will vote, and after voting he will go. So it is a like before one day only you decide that how you will put the compartments and all. Because why? Because if you once you started the voting, then you can't change it. So once you go there in the before one day, you decide that public will come from here, the voters will come from this way, they will go to this way, they will vote and they will go out. So like that you decide one day early. So what is the role of PRO in polling? Means actually when the polling is going on, he has to observe that the polling procedure is free and fair. No canvassing, no influencing is happening, and then he has to fill the various forms as and when required. He has to maintain a visit sheet. Visit sheets means sometimes sector officer or sometimes assistant returning officer, DEO will come. So that time he has to record all those things. And sometimes what happens, these polling officers, sometimes they will get exhausted, they want to go to washroom, and also that time PRO has to do their job like this. He has to substitute for certain 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Then he has to take the decisions. Sometimes what happens, in my case one voter came whose name is matching, photo is matching, but his voter ID is not matching, voter ID number is not matching. So then we decided, okay, we can allow him. We asked him any other document he is having. So he is having Aadhaar card and driving license. So based on that one, we allowed him to vote. Sometimes what I have, photo will not match. So that time also you have to ascertain that he is the genuine voter. You have to establish his identity. Then you can allow him to vote. So generally in my case, I decided that 2/3 rule means, suppose the voter name, voter photograph, and voter ID number, if any two is matching, I will allow him to vote, like this. Then PRO role in polling is to check the 100-meter parameter, that no canvassing is happening, no influencing is happening, and then time to time providing the information and the data to the sector officer. So like this the polling will go. So if the number of voters are more, means definitely there will be a rush, and your polling officers will be stretched very hard. So you have to like substitute sometimes, so that they can take their breakfast, lunch, they can go for washrooms and all. So like that. And sometimes some problems will happen, some people will come and deliberately create some problems. So that time that PRO role is there to take charge and control everything. So in my case that thing didn't happen. Only some minor thing happened, like photo is not matching, ID is not matching, name is not matching. So by the same, I told him, by 2/3 rule, if 2 out of 3 things are matching, means I allowed him to vote. So generally 3-4 cases came like that. Apart from that, my polling station, the voters also was very less, and people were also good. Polling agents was also very good. So somehow it managed. But in certain polling station, I heard in demusting center, that some problem happened. Some voters coming and creating some problems. Some tender ballot happened. So all those things, that is based upon the skill of the presiding officer, that how he handles the situation. Some problems will come, but he has to use his mind and control and see the situation. So like that, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, then 6 o'clock we have to close the poll. So 6 o'clock, by the 6 o'clock all whoever wanted to vote has come and voted. So at the 6 o'clock there was no queue for us in our polling station. So 6 o'clock we closed the machine. So before closing the machine, we checked the total showed that this much amount of vote has been casted, and same should be recorded in the 17A register. So then what I did, at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock only, I had taken all the signatures from the agents, whatever signatures required. So some agents questioned that before the event has happened, you have taken the signature of us. So then I told, if at the right moment, at the right interval, if I take signatures, means it will become very late. When 6 o'clock poll will close, means all the procedure I'll follow, and it will become 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. So then I will relieve you at 8 o'clock. So then they told, no sir, we want to go at the 6:30, we want to go. So they signed all the papers, all the declarations, all the reports, they have signed. So before only I kept and signed. So 6 o'clock when I closed the poll, I handed over the data, which is the 17C form, and then I told you go. So once 6 o'clock is over, we closed the poll, we showed them the machine, that what is the reading of the votes, total votes, and 17A register. They've seen it, and then I closed the EVM, and then I handed over 70C. The moment 6:15 they went, then we started dismantling the EVMs, and we started keeping in their casing. Then we started, some forms will be there, so data will fill that at the end how much voting has happened, how much male female has happened, how many people came with voter ID, how many people came with some other ID cards. Then we dismantle, and we kept all the items in the box. So then we asked our sector officer that VVPAT battery to be removed or not. He told, don't remove it, let it be like that. So we left it like that. Then we filled PRO declaration 3, 4, and PRO report 3. So all those things we filled and kept ready. So you remember one thing, PRO declarations will be separate, PRO report will be separate. So PRO declaration will be 1, 2, 3, 4. PRO report will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But in declaration 1, 3, 4 is only required, report 1 and 3 is only required. Other things are like replacement of EVM and all those things. So generally in our polling station, nothing has happened, but some other polling station, some voter has deliberately broken the EVM, that ballot unit buttons, so that then they will call, they will bring the new machine, they will install, they will do mock poll, so it will take some time. So but in our cases, so that time those reports like replacement of EVM, so all those things, restarting of poll, so all those things will come into picture, otherwise this will not come. So 3 declarations and 2 report you have to make. So like this we did, and we closed all those things, we sealed. So they will give the packets, so like 4 packets will be, the first packets will be there like EVM papers. So EVM papers means you have to put the mock poll report, mock poll slips, and all the other main items like 17A registers and 17C forms, all these PRO diaries. So like this EVM papers, scrutiny papers, statutory papers. So they will give envelope. So in that envelope you have to fill and keep. So whether those forms were used or not, for example, if any person come who was blind, so we didn't had any voter who was blind, so you have to fill nil and you have to put in the envelope. So any complaint you have made to the police, no, so you put nil and you put it in the envelope. Then will be some like how many overseas voters came, nil. So all those forms you fill nil and you put. So main important will be the voter slips, 17A register, and mock poll certificate, and marked copy of electoral roll. So these are the 4-5 items will be there, which will be like very important document. So we filled it, we sealed it, and then bus also came. So 7:30 we boarded the bus. So then we reached the mustering center 8:30. So 8:30 we went there, same classroom we went there where we have taken the machine. So our sector officer was there, so he taken the machine, then he told you sit in the classroom with the paper. So then he started collecting the papers. So all the main items he has taken separately, and all the other items he has taken separately. So then he will give at the end of the handing over, he will give one certificate stating that you have conducted the poll and I have taken back the machine and papers. So like that he will sign and he will relieve. Now the trick is there, if you have filled any wrong information, not wrong information, some mistakes you have made, and it will be pointed out by the sector officer at the time of submission, then he will tell you fill it again. So if suppose in your team in the sector so 15 parties there, 15 polling stations is there, if 5 makes mistakes, means they will have to fill, then again they have to submit, then again he will check. So sometime it will become late. So try to avoid the mistakes. Many times in polling, during the poll, sector officer will visit the polling station. That time if you have any doubt that what is this number and what to fill in that, there you consult him and then you fill. So our sector officer was very experienced one, so he told, if anything is there you ask me. So everybody asked him. So our 15 team was there, so they submitted within 1 hour. 8:30 we leave, 8:30 we reached the mustering center. 9 o'clock, 9:15 we have submitted the document, and 9:15 we have left. Whereas some of the other teams in the other sectors had to wait till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock to submit the forms, because they have made some mistakes or some error was there, so they have waited. But in our team, our sector, nothing major happened. So we submitted, and 9:30 we taken the this one letter that we have handed over the EVMs and all, and then we returned back to our home. So like that only we did. And but So in our wherever we were, our polling station was there, that was normal area, so no much disruption has happened, anything. But sometimes what happened, sometimes many people will come. So like in our polling station, 443 votes was casted, so it was like below normal. Normal will be like 600, 650 will be the average, but anything goes above 600, 650 means it will be very tough on the polling officers. Some of my friends has recorded 1,000 votes, that even one machine has been malfunctioned. So it was like horrible for them. The 1,000 vote is like too much. Four people can't manage that much. So that depends upon what type of area is there, how is your polling agents, and how is your team. So that will govern that what kind of poll you will have, whether it's a good or bad, like that. So we came back, we 9:30 we left the polling station. So this is the my first experience as a presiding officer, that too even a proceeding officer. So if this videos is any help to other, means they can see this videos. Okay.